Good evening, everybody. It's Lyndon speaking. It's Monday Night Live update again, and you're all very welcome from all different parts of the world. We've got a great attendance here. People from literally every corner of the planet here, which is fantastic. Some of you are tuning in the middle of your night time, which you can be commended for. And well, look, I'll get straight into it tonight because we've got a real special treat. We've got Angelos, the IT director of Beep. Now you're all going to think, hang on a second, he's going to give us an update from the IT department, where you're going to get a huge surprise because when I first met Angelos, he swore blind to me that he couldn't sell. And I always smile when somebody says I can't sell, because you sit and look at them around their kids and they're telling their kids about various rights and wrongs, and there they are selling to them. And I look at men who've got pretty wives, and I think, well, there's somebody who can sell straight away. And everybody is selling to everybody all the time, but they just don't realise it. So when Angelos said he couldn't sell, I said, well, that's fine, because he's an IT director, and he doesn't really have to. That's not what he's here for. But then Angelos told me a story last week. And I know last week I said I was going to bring on Savas for some updates, but Savas is on his sick bed, and which is good, because this week Angelos told me a story that would have superseded everything. And I said, you know what, Angelos, that is such a great story. It's not just so great, it's because it's coming from you, the IT director, and what you've done there is you've just got to repeat what you must repeat to everybody in Beep what you've told me about your circumstances for how you actually went about it. So without any further ado, I've got Beverly on and Brian on today. So Beverly and Brian, you're there, are you? You can hear me very well?
Yes,
No problem, yeah.
That's great stuff. And Angelos, you better be there after that introduction.
If I was silent now for at least 10 seconds, I would give you a scare. Hi, everybody.
Okay, somebody can just type in that you heard Lyndon and Angelos and Brian and Beverly. If you can just do that for a quick sound check for me. Thank you everybody, that's great. Right, without any further ado, I will hand over to Angelos, and I'll be the slide master for the night.
Okay, well, Monday Live Update, as the slide says. As Lyndon pre-mentioned, I've had a look at what we are doing wrong about sales recently, and I've had the opportunity. I didn't just decide to go out, it just happened actually. And yes, as Lyndon said, I was never able to sell in my life. I've tried it in the past with different companies selling advertising online, which is pretty similar to this, and couldn't cope with it. So I switched to making online products, and that was it. So last week, I've had to be in a different city for personal reasons, and I had the whole day free. I had to just be there in the morning, 8 o'clock, and then leave at 6 o'clock in the evening. So what I did, I called a member of Beep that's residing in that city and told him, well, some of you might even remember him from the convention. Brian and Bev, you were there. I see some other people like Marcel and Ronald and Jan on the webinar tonight. You should remember him. His name was Christos, a young guy from Limassol.
Yeah.
I rang him up and I told him, listen, I will be in Limassol. How is your sales doing? His first comment was, not so good. I'm having some difficulties, even booking appointments, etc. So we started working on a plan on how to firstly book the appointments and fill his schedule up for the week that I was going to be there. And I would give him a hand and see firsthand what is wrong with his approach, or what is wrong with the product itself and why he couldn't sell it. I did this for a number of reasons. Firstly, just to get some feedback from the market, like I usually do from time to time when I get the chance, and also to see if any of the approaches actually work. What I came up with was something that surprised me even. despite the fact that I've been hearing from a lot of people recently that we cannot sell, we're missing this, we want a famous word, we need an app and we cannot sell because of that, or we're missing this and we need to do that and the other. Well, I decided to see that myself. So if Lyndon can do me the favor of starting the slides app and go to first slide. The first obstacle that we had to go over with Christos was how to actually book the appointments. He had his list, but he didn't have let's say, too much success with landing appointments. So we decided to see what he did with the calls. I overheard him a couple of times on the phone, and then we decided to use a certain approach, and this is exactly what we will see tonight. How we did it, what did we say, what did we ask the clients, how we booked the appointments. There were some specific keywords that you should not mention. They confuse the customer, or they raise suspicions, or they raise the fence up and the customer becomes defensive, etc. Let's move on to a slide, Lyndon, on how to book appointments. Basically, over the conversations that I overheard, we found out that this approach actually worked better than any other approach we tried. Initially, we mentioned that yes, it's about the loyalty card for your store. I think it suits your business, and this I stole from Beverly, actually. Would it be okay to come by and have a 10-15 minutes presentation and show you what's it about? No commitments. Now, that worked well as a first reply, but we were missing something. Not many of them booked. So we used the so-called 2 options technique. That's a psychological technique, let's say. I've heard it from Lyndon and from various other people dealing with sales professionally, and it worked for us about 90% of the times, booking the appointment. The 2 options technique is to put pressure on the client psychologically by giving them 2 options. So after we said, would it be okay to come by and make a 10-15 minutes presentation, we continued before we let them speak and saying, I got, for example, Monday morning or Wednesday afternoon. Which one would it best suit you? That nearly landed most of the appointments from the first phone call. Of course, we had some that said, I cannot, neither one of them, because of commitments, I'm already booked, etc. So we gave them another 2 options right after that. Okay, then how about Friday morning or Tuesday afternoon next week, etc. That booked the rest appointments that we were missing. That's about 9 out of 10 phone calls we actually landed the appointment, and I found it to be working very well. Of course, depending on where you live and what's the mentality there, it could be a bit different. You might need to just adjust the approach a bit, depending on who you're talking as well. Now, this would work for the small to medium businesses. If you're, of course, trying to reach somebody who is a franchise or a big company, etc., you have to go through secretaries, etc. That's going to need a different approach. I'm referring to the casual day-to-day approaches that you're trying to book appointments. Let's go one step forward, Lyndon.
Okay.
Now, optimize your approach, I say. This one I just saw from the first couple of appointments we did with Christos that we had to talk differently to the certain store owners, each one specifically related to age. If there were young people, we had to talk to them differently. If they were older of age, we had to switch our approach a bit and talk to them in a different way. On the island especially, I'm sure it happens in pretty much most of the rest of the world. We have the so-called, I will say it without prejudice, villagers mentality. So we had to talk to them in a very specific way. So my point being, make your introduction, let them introduce themselves. Yes, you need to break the ice first so you can start the conversation. At that point, I saw that we needed to judge accordingly and take it forward from there and see how are we going to present it, in which language are we going to talk, should I say some technical terms in it, should I stick to basics, etc. Now you will need to play with this one and figure out exactly what matches where, and especially depending on the people you're approaching and your country, you know better. I've been to my own country, so I judged accordingly. Let's go a bit forward, Lyndon.
Okay.
And just for the comment, anyone who doesn't know the connection between that pen and the tape is way too young to be on this conference.
Yes.
So, first I let Christos do his presentation to see what was going wrong, etc. Now, he was starting in a wrong way, let's say, starting from the benefits you get as a member and how the network works, how the commissions are calculated and percentages here and there. That nearly confused the hell out of the person we were talking about. That is entirely the wrong way to approach. That approach you would use in order to sign up a member in your team, not a store owner. What the store owner needs to hear is, what are we talking about? What's the system? What are you selling? Because they do know you came to sell them something. So we switched on approach after 2 appointments, and we used this for the following 10, out of which we landed 3 of them. That's the goal that Lyndon is, I would say, moaning about every time we say the goals. It's 3 stores a week. You can meet your goals and make a significant income from Beep using the now money, and eventually build the residual income furthermore. Now, out of the 10 that we did following the initial 2, after we optimized our approach, we landed 3 deals on the first appointment. We have 2 or 3 follow-ups that they had a very good excuse. Actually, 2 of them, they said, I like it, I need to talk to my partner though, call me next week or in 2 weeks when he's back, etc. So we do have follow-ups with a few of them as well. Needless to say, none of them said no, so we still have chances of booking 2 or 3 more, I would guess, from the ones that I've seen. So there you go, that's the goal. 3 a week. If you do 10 appointments, that's maybe 2 a day. You take your weekend off, and voila. Now, how did we do it? The way we did it, I split it into a 4 steps presentation and kept it simple. Firstly, we presented the loyalty concept. The basics, yes, you offer a discount, you get returning clients, you give them a card, etc., and that's it. Now, we compared, in order to explain them, I mentioned a word before, villagers or people that are not so into technology, etc. On the island, it's not called the loyalty card. Here, they call them bonus cards. Everybody is familiar with this term. So we use that specific term. Now, whichever works better for you in your country, it might be called something entirely different, I don't know. We called it bonus card to them. It's just a matter of terminology for them to understand. We compared it with other cards of similar nature, bonus cards or loyalty cards offered by big franchise stores. I used specific names on the island that are very popular and everybody knows. Everybody has their card, but it's it's the big supermarkets and the big electronic shops that have their own card, and everybody knows I have a card from this store and I have a card from Tesco's, for example, in the UK, etc. Using that term, everybody understood what's it about, and in a bit when we reach the pricing module, I will explain how I use the exact same comparison to actually book the deal. So we presented the loyalty concept. Yes, it's for your store, your customers, and then we moved on to what do you get from this loyalty concept. We went the extra mile of what extra is it other than the typical ones. Let's move slide, Lyndon, please.
Okay.
Step 2. we spoke about the extra benefits. You get, because it's an open system, it's not a specific store's loyalty card. You will introduce your clients in this store, in this system, the same way other stores are introducing their clients. So you get access to all these clients that we gather up in the network. We explained how. You are advertised through the Beep Stores map. Everybody can see your location, where you're at. They can see your details of your store, contact details, discount that you offer, etc. We mentioned the weekly special offers, that it goes locally to all the registered members, and you can have your offer in that as well. The proximity directions in dashboards of members as soon as you register, even if you registered via an invite or a landing page, electronically online and not at a store, so you would have a physical card. We mentioned that specific way that we send users by proximity. Here is the directions, here is the location of your nearest stores, go and get your card. And several other features offered by the platform. I'm sure most of you already know these features. One of I'm mentioning here, you can send your own messages to your clients, any message whatsoever, and that goes only to your clients, not the whole world or the whole local clientele, etc. And the other small features offered by the platform. We didn't mention anything about network and how it works and how the introducer of the introducer, etc., gets commissions and this and that. We didn't say anything about this whatsoever. I found that using specific words of a certain nature actually raised the barrier, and everybody was looking at us half-eyed if we used those. I'm referring to terms like used in mostly MLM systems, etc., like benefits, like network, like levels or ranks, etc. Do not use these terms. They're irrelevant to the store owner, and they get a very high peak after you say these specific words. They get suspicions, and because of the nature of the business, they don't allow you to express normally what you want to express to them. So we stuck to basics. This is what we are offering, and that's it. Now, in your guess, the next step would be to go further and say that they get commissions from their clients if they go shopping elsewhere, etc. The answer is no. The moment we mentioned that, everybody was triggered up with suspicions, as I mentioned. So, third step, we just set the price. What's it gonna cost? It's $2.99 in dollars. In euros, it's the comparison here. In pounds, it's different. We set the price. This is it. It's a one-time fee. There is no monthly commitments. There is no contracts to sign or whatsoever. That's one time. You have a money-back guarantee. You get free cards as long as you keep using it. When you run out, you will get more. All the above-mentioned services, free maintenance, free support, etc. And that's it. Now, after each step until here, there is a fourth step. But after I finished each step, I was pausing and asking them if they have questions about what we just analyzed and what if they see something missing or something wrong. We got answers like, no, everything okay, sounds good, this and that. Now, at this point is what I mentioned in step 1. We compared to local systems, big loyalty cards owned by large stores or franchises. Before we set the price, I used this certain technique about introducing the price in a comical way to make them feel good. Even though the price is low, I used the following. Bringing up the names of these stores. Namely, in Cyprus we have Alpha Mega, it's a big supermarket. We have Stephanie's, it's a big electronics store. Mentioning these two, and then I mentioned the price cost of these two. It costed these stores, and that's why they have a loyalty system, and you or everybody else, the small to medium companies, don't have. The reason is pricing. It costed them initially mostly a 5-digit number to get the systems in place, plus cards, plus this and that, plus training, and most probably a 4-digit number monthly for maintenance and support and upgrades, etc. So we raised the question to them: how much would you pay us to give you the exact same system like these people? Nobody answered, needless to say. They were skeptic and think, you know, they're going to say an astronomical price now, etc. After a few moments of letting them digest it, specifically I've researched how much it costed to these companies, and I found prices of 20 to 25,000 euros initially, plus 2 to 2.5 monthly, that's thousands in euros, for monthly costs, maintenance, staffing, etc. And that's just the minimums we're talking about. I'm referring to Cyprus. It's a very small island in the Mediterranean. Now, if we take Tesco's in the UK, that's probably a multiple of these amounts. Further to this, after we let them digest that, oh, this is a high price, yeah, I would never afford that, we set our price, $2.99 in dollars, and you can get the exact same system. You get free cards, blah, 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 what I mentioned before. At that point, I saw everybody's eyes sparkling and triggering. Oh, this sounds good. Better than it sounded even before when they were explaining. And that's the point where we tried to actually land the deal before we even say how the network works, how much money you make forward, etc. And this is exactly where we actually landed the first 3 sales from the 10 appointments. Now, if we move forward, Lyndon, to the landing the deal, I saw the following. The 3 that said, yes, it sounds good, let's do it. We started filing the orders directly from there. And while filing the order, this was actually 2 of them that said yes from step 3 up to step 3. The rest said, okay, we need to think about it, etc. We brought the question to them, okay, if you, like you say, step 1, everything sounds good. Step 2, no, I don't have any suggestions more, I like it. Step 3, okay, sounds good. Okay, then when shall we start booking it? Or if they said, I need to speak to my partner, when should we come again and talk with your partner as well? Now, the 2 that said yes, we started filing the order, and while filing the order, we explained them the extra bits about your clients are your clients, and if they go shopping, etc., you make a small piece of the commission. This is the only thing we explained, and this is how we explained it. No mentioning of ranks or levels or who introduced whom and percentages, etc. If your clients that you introduced to the system, you have helped make that transaction happen, the same way the other store introduced his clients. Now, if your clients go to the other store and make some shoppings there, you're entitled to some commission, logically and fairly, I would say. Everybody loved it. Everybody enjoyed me saying that. And the third deal actually landed by saying this. That was the extra mile we had to go for that third deal. Those who said no, or I need to, they didn't actually say no, I don't want it. They said I need to think about it, or I need to speak to my partner. At that point also, we went forward to say these extra bits, how the commissions work and why do you get it, just the logic of it, no extra details. We landed an extra deal out of the 2 that I mentioned before, total of 3. We have, as I mentioned, 2 follow-ups for next week and early next month, if I'm not mistaken. Christos can confirm those. He has the notes of it. I was never good at keeping a schedule or notes, so that's why I'm not good in sales, Lyndon, so you know. And once from the 3 that we landed, we, after explaining commissions, etc., and shook hands, just before we left, we asked for referrals. If you like the system, you do understand that it's even better for you. The more stores in the system in this area, the better for you. The more clients you will have access to, they will bring their clients too. And if you think it's so good, whom else would you like to see in this one? So we got actually a football team, local, one of the big ones in Limassol, referral. The guy actually told us, you call this number, his name is this, and you say that my name send you to talk to him and he should listen. And secondly, we got a franchise fuel stations referral, which was big. I'm not going to mention the other small, go to this cafeteria, I know the owner, or go to that bar, I know the owner, etc. These are two big ones that we got, plus 5 or 6 more referrals that we are calling and following up. Of course, this is down to my friend Christos in Limassol now. He has a good start. He has a pizzeria with 3 outlets in the city of Limassol. He's got a small, it's not actually small, it's one of the biggest creperies in the city, and a local bar that gets quite popular at night. That's 3 stores to start with in the city of Limassol. When we're talking about a city of, I don't know, 60, 70,000 people. It's a very good start, and now he can say, these guys are also in, go ahead. Now, on this point, we've had the question of who else is in this. Now, I do know that the most difficult part is to get started. So after the first 2 or 3 appointments that we've seen people asking this, we decided to cut the question from the early beginning. So on the introduction, we said the company is 2 years old. Yes, we are just starting in Limassol. We came, it's you, we have several other appointments, etc. It works abroad very well. We have certain locations, and we mentioned certain countries that have a good span of stores, and we're just starting on the island. We started from Limassol, etc. That cut the question straight out, who else is in, or etc. Yes, you can use the term the company is successful abroad. There is plenty of countries on the map that you can show off if one of them is not yours, and you can get started this way. It worked. It's proven concept. This is it. We are here now, and you're one of the first to go in. It's to your benefit as well. The more that go in, the better for you. So we're not going to talk to you only. We're going to talk to 50 other stores in this area and get them to join us. Mm-hmm. That's all I did. And basically, I know it sounds simple. It needs some technique, yes, to talk, but I believe, like Lyndon said, if I could do it, and trust me, those who've seen me on the convention, I get stage fright. On my first presentation, my leg was shaking. I picked up speed on the second and after, yes, after I got the hang of it, but I do get that. And as Lyndon said, if I could do it, I personally will not accept anyone else telling me from now that it's difficult to sell or I cannot sell because of ABC. I did it. I'm the IT director. Yes, I didn't even say that I'm the IT director. I just went there as Angelos. Nobody knew me. Nobody saw the website to see my face on it or something. I just went with Christos, and voila, that was it. I don't think we have another slide, Lyndon, do we?
No, I think that's the end of it. That's absolutely. Angelos, somebody was asking a question here. If I just scroll down the questions,
Yep.
Charlie from Buffalo in the United States was asking a question. I thought that was a good one. He said, no mention of the minimum 2.5% discount or the 2.75% beep fee. So in your presentations with Christos, did you cover that there is a minimum discount of 2.5% and the beep fee was 2.75%?
Yes, we did. That was on step 3 when we said what's it gonna cost you. Maybe I made these slides. Lyndon can vouch for me. I made these slides just before this webinar, about an hour or 2. So forgive me for not including it there. Yes, we did say that the fee is 2.75%, and it's pay as you go. I saw somebody mentioning it there. If you use it, you're going to get a bill at the end of the month. If you don't use it, bad for you, you're not going to get a bill. But still, you don't get all the benefits that come with it. We did mention the 2.75%, yes, and the 2.5 minimum percentage. Just for the record, this pizzeria that I mentioned with the 3 outlets, they're offering 50% on specific pizzas and about 5 to 10 on the rest of their products. The name is La Strata Pizza. Anyone can go on the map and see it if you think I'm lying. There is the other ones as well. They were going to offer anywhere between 5 to 10%. So that wasn't an issue for the 2.5. The only ones I see having an issue with 2.5 is the fuel station when we reach there and talk to them, or large supermarkets that have very small margins, but they could limit it to specific offers or specific products if they wish, and offer 5 or 10% or 20 even on certain products only, which covers that.
So I think I'm speaking for everybody on the call, Angelos, to say that when you keep saying you can't sell, you are one hell of a salesman. Absolutely. I've trained lots of salesmen around the world, but I tell you what you did there with Christos, let's not take anything away from good old Christos there. What you two did in there was absolutely almost textbook professional selling there.
Well,
And
I will admit, Lyndon, I wasn't good ever in my life until now. Now I can easily say that yes, I'm a good salesperson. Before I went, and I will admit this, I went on YouTube looking for sales training techniques and stuff, and I've watched about 2 or 3 hours of videos while working, just listening to them saying certain techniques, etc. I got some bits and pieces, and that's what made this approach up, basically.
Fantastic.
From videos. So if there's something you don't know or you want to get better with, study it. Just go. There is hundreds of videos on YouTube about booking an appointment or landing a deal or closing the deal after you make the presentation, etc. That I found hundreds of them. I've just watched 6 or 7 of them. It was a couple of hours or a bit more, I would say, and that was it.
Brilliant. And Brian and Beverly, you're out there every week in the front line of sales. Have you got anything you'd like to add to that?
No, it's just it's exactly right. I think with BeepXtra, less is more almost in terms of what you talk about, because at the end of the day, that shopkeeper, all he's interested in is what's in this for me. What am I going to get? So if you tell him basically what he's getting from us, and in terms of being able to contact his own customers, the fact that he can advertise to other customers that are in the area with Beep, and the fact that he's getting a loyalty system for his business, and I'm finding that more and more that I talk to the shopkeepers about their business more so than talking about other stores or what he's going to get from other stores or what he's going to get from his customers. He wants to know what he's going to get from us at this moment in time, and how that's going to benefit his business. So yes, you're absolutely right, and the order of things is perfect. You know, at the end of the day, we're not trying to build up to a €10,000 sale here. We don't have to hide the price till the end or anything like that. So no, it looks absolutely perfect. It looks absolutely right. Yes.
And how do you get on? You had quite a few appointments last week, and they're all coming through?
Yes, we'll have 3 here. I'm in Ballycastle, which has a population of 5,000, so that would give us, for one store for 1,500 people, we're looking for 3 stores, and we'll have those 3 stores up and running this week. So that's the target for here. I'm going to move on then to Coleraine, which is population 25,000. So I think we need about 15 there, isn't that right?
Yes, yes. So
like that.
Anyone
15.
listening into this, there's a standard that if you just take the figure 1,500, and whatever city you live in, whatever town, whatever village, you just look at your population, divide it by 1,500, and that is the Beep store target. So Brian, you were in Ballycastle, population 5,000, very small place. Divide it by 1,500, 3 stores is the target, and that's what you've done. And so that is absolutely perfect. And Coleraine, with what was the population of that?
26,000, I think.
Yeah, Coleraine, yeah. 15, 16 stores would do that very well. Okay, so Beverly, are you there? I know you've just been on holiday for a week, and you've just made it back in time. But does that Angelos approach sound similar to what you're up to?
I think we lost Beverly about 2 or 3 minutes ago. She dropped out.
Oh, okay.
On the call.
Okay, we'll let Beverly answer that next week. But I'm gonna wrap it up now because I've just seen we've gone past the half an hour mark, and Angelos, can't say enough. That is incredibly impressive work, and well done to you, well done to Christos over there. I think that's laid down a marker for the rest of us out there to go and follow in your footsteps. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, it's a competition now. I see Fedion and certain other people. Thank you very much. Great sales training from the IT director. Lyndon, I think you're fired on this subject.
Yeah, I'm off.
Well,
I'm gone.
The IT director just made 3 sales in a week. I'll give you the challenge. You meet that challenge 3 a week or more and beat me, and I'll give you a bonus personally.
There you go, guys. Okie dokie. Hey, you all have a great Beep week, and we'll be here same time, same place next week. Thank you very much for listening. I'm just going to tune out of the webinar now, and we'll be here same time next week. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.